You know? So what? Boss in this Bay Area shit, man. Jay Diggs, repping the Stiz Nation shit, man. Shout out to Gully TV, man. Appreciate having y'all on this Bay, man. Y'all take a look at what's going on.
Yo, yo, yo. If you tune in to me, you watching Gully TV. I got a special guest from the West Side, man. A legendary street player from the West Side, from Northern California. Go ahead and introduce yourself, homeboy.
What's up with it? It's the boss of the Bay Area, Jay Diggs, president of Mac Dre Stiz Entertainment, man. What's up with it, Gully TV?
Oh, man. I got a chance to run into you last summer at some type of talent show out there, and I think it was might have been Santa Rosa or some shit like that. You gave me a drop. It's been love ever since. I brought you here because as you know, I'm an East Coast dominated platform, and I would like to introduce you and your story to my audience. So go ahead and give them your rundown.
I mean, shit, where do I start at, man?
You can start from the romp. Start from the romp, Jay. Start from the romp.
I mean, you know, first and foremost, you know, I come from a crew out the Bay Area. They called the ROMPER crew. You know, I mean, our story was featured on the BET's American Gangster. They got a few documentaries out. Shit, they had Celebrity Crime Files. I did a few. I did BET, Old Drama back in the day, Ricky Lake, all the shit on the story. We had a real big bank robbery story that was featured on Unsolved Mysteries in the early 90s. So, long story short, Mac Dre was my co-defendant. Me and Mac Dre, and my little cousin, Kilo Curtis, was also CEO of Diz Entertainment. We went to prison back in the early 90s for conspiracy of bank robbery. Our crew was basically suspect in a string of bank robbery for a couple of years. So Mac Dre being my co-defendant, but it had nothing to do with my case. So basically he got caught up, you know, me and being with me and stayed real. And then what a lot of these niggas don't do today, you know, he shut his mouth. He was in the middle, he had a rap career, he was in the middle of signing the Jive Records in the early 90s, back at the time when Jive had Too Short, G40, and Spice One. And Dre was on the chart to sign. He caught a case with me. And they gave him a choice. You can go home. All you need to do is, you know, let us know what Diggs and Kilo got going on. And you can go home. And even though he had nothing to do with my case, Dre stayed solid. And he went to federal prison, Long Park prison, for 5.5 years.
Not to hold on, Jay. Not to I gotta bring you back just a little bit, because you kind of like went into the story and you didn't give my audience, you didn't give them a chance to let that romper room thing sink in. Tell them exactly what your neighborhood was notorious for and how. Where I'm from, we basketball players. You feel me? That's what we do. Generations, basketball players. Your generation, your neighborhood, what y'all known for.
My neighborhood, we known for rapping and bank robbing, man. That's what Country Club Crestwell known.
Right.
Man, we got a lot of dudes that's in the back game, and we got a lot of dudes that's in the bank robbery game. Some of them in both. And we got a lot of dudes that's been in prison for over 20 years, or close to 20 years behind this shit. Like, it's been going on for years. So, you know, it's you know, and it's actually, we was the reason why they started putting plexiglass in banks.
Right.
Back in the late 90s when they started that shit for jumping counters, like we was really them jumping.
Now, before the bank robberies and things of that nature came in, the romper room was actually some block shit. That was y'all crew from around the way, right?
Yeah. It was just like any other neighborhood crew. It was young homeboys in the neighborhood growing up. You know, we had the same dream that our kids have now. We wanted to be rappers, but at this point in time, wasn't no whole bunch of rappers. Like, we was in the Bay Area. You know, the face of the Bay Area back then was Too Short. So that was kind of like the pattern of the Bay Area. You know, we was young street niggas that was in the game. So we from the Bay Area, we don't gang bands. We don't got Christian Bloods out there. So we got crews. Our neighborhoods is all based on crews. So the romper room was our crew. You know, it only consisted of 11 dudes. You know, we weren't no big old crew. It was 11 of us. It's like brother.
Right.
Call each other cuddies. That's short for cousin and brother. I mean, we cousin brothers. You know,
right.
So cuddy is a word that we made up in the crest years ago, and that's just how we rock like brothers.
And the crest.
we really had that real brotherhood, though. You know, a lot of dudes got gangs and they don't even know who in their gang, shit like that. Like, we was a different type of move. We wasn't just no gang in the streets. They turned us into a gang. We was called a crew. It was Romper Room Crew originally. The feds really turned us into gang, so we ran with it. That's what y'all want to call us, be the gang. But it was really a crew of niggas that was really with the shit as youngsters, as teenagers. So I went to jail at 19 years old. I never seen a day of my 20s on the streets. You feel me?
So
all
that robbery that you were speaking of on American Gangster, when you was like, you looked across the street and seen a news truck, you was 19 right there?
I was 19 years old, yeah. I was me and Mac Dre. We caught our case and had an informant basically wearing a wire on me. A nigga that had been working with me had wore a wire on me.
He was in the whip with y'all when you seen the news truck?
Yeah, he was in the whip with us. He was actually driving the whip. You feel me? It was a crazy situation because he wasn't a nigga that robbed banks, but he actually was the nigga who used to steal cars for me for like a year and a half. Like he knew that all my cars that was being used in robberies, and that's how he got on. That's how the feds got on to him. He fucked around and slipped and left a print on one of the cars in one of the robberies. And they knew that he was a GTA nigga. They like, you don't rob no banks, but you steal cars. And you've been stealing cars for whoever these niggas is robbing these banks. But at the first time when they got on him, he didn't break. And then he fucked around and caught a case behind some other shit that came up to the county jail and got on him. And that's when he broke. And he told him that he had been stealing cars for me.
Right.
They put a wire on the nigga and told him, look, man, we need you to get these niggas. You know, this shit was unsolved. Like by the time this had happened, like, that had already been unsolved issues. But they was looking. So that was their real first break. So dude basically put a wire on and told him he was gonna get me. He was gonna set me up. So I normally only used him to buy, just to steal cars. He was never part of my licks, but this particular lick that was going on was out of town. So I needed him to go out of town to get the car for me. It was a crazy story because it was actually our first show. It was Mac Dre's first big show with Up-C, Ice Cube, and the Mad Circle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in Fresno, California. So it was like, you know, we was kids. It was our first show, the road show. So we go out to the city, Fresno, for the first time, and I'm like, okay, this shit virgin shit. They ain't been touched by no bank robbery shit out here. So I put a lick together, and my whole thing was we gonna come back out here. We met some little bitches out there we fucked with. So I'm like, we gonna go back out here and knock this shit off. So just so happened when we was getting ready to go back out there, I was fucking with Dre that morning. We went to the studio, and I'm like, I'm finna go to Fresno, and I want to go. I'm like, nah, Dre, you might want to stay. Me and Kilo Faye go take care of this business down here. He like, man, I stay at the hotel. You know, I met a little bitch down there, Will's down there. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, come on. You can stay at the hotel. But the whole time, we ain't even know. I'm finna take the dude to take the, steal the cars from me. I'm not even knowing this nigga got the feds. He got 32 FBI agents follow us from the Bay Area to Fresno. They got everything. He got a wire on, all the shit. So they tracking the whole lick. He telling them the whole shit, you know. And they come all the way down to the point where, you know, I had him, he's supposed to go steal a car. I'm telling you go get a car the night before. He's supposed to go get a car and have it ready for us the next morning. The feds give him the car, make it look stolen. They do all the shit. And all the way up to the point where we get to the bank. And I let him talk me into driving for me. Like, he on some, man, I need some extra money. Let me drive for Kilo, blah, blah, blah. Fuck it, I got you out here. So this is the first time he was ever really part of any of our licks.
Right.
I let him in on some, you know, I've been fucking with you, come on, drive, I'm not the shit up. So the whole time, like I say, he got the wire on, we get over to the bank, I'm finna get ready to jump out the car and go in this motherfucker, and I notice it's a news truck across the street, you know, the kind that got the antennas on the shit.
Right.
So I'm looking at this truck like, oh, right when I'm finna jump out, I freeze up, like, oh, wait, hold on, that's one of them ones that got the camera somewhere close.
Right.
So we sitting traveling on now. I'm looking at the truck. This shit tinted out and all the shit. Ain't no camera around. And then I'm looking around. I'm starting seeing back then they had the little Feds cars when they used to have the long antennas on the back. I know you know.
Yeah.
This was early '90s shit. They used to have like Aries and all this type of shit. So we starting to see all the little signs now. Like, it's Feds in the area, man. I'm like, oh, this ain't good. Something ain't right. So I shut it down. I'm telling dude, come on, let's go. He's still trying to get us like, oh man, come on, let's do that. I'm like, nah, let's go. This shit ain't good. So we leave, basically leave the lick, go back to the hotel to pick up Mac Dre, leave the city. When we on our way back from the city, that's when they get on us. They're like, we got to take them down. You know what I mean? It was a whole nother story. We basically seen them following us on the way back.
So
we noticed them.
Y'all still had the hammers on y'all?
Yep. still had it. I got charged. With gun. It was only one gun. You don't need no whole lot of gun. It wasn't going there with one gun. It was a pistol. It was mine. I got charged with the gun. They charged me with the ringleader charge and shit. I get 10 years. My little cousin Kilo get 8. They give Mac Drake 5 just for conspiracy. His role was you knew what they was going to do. You didn't tell the police, even though they surveillance said that Mac Dre wasn't with us. He wasn't in the car. They know he didn't have nothing to do with the planning, but they did know that he knew. They could prove that he knew that we were going to Fresno to rob a bank, and he went with us.
Wow.
So that was his whole case. His whole charge was staying real for his niggas, and he really went to jail for that shit, for shutting his mouth. And that's one of the reasons why the base fucks with you so tough. Oh, like that was an unbelievable story. You know, to a lot of niggas, like, damn, this nigga really stayed solid, went to the feds for his niggas, and he could have went home. Like, they really offered him a deal. Like, look, bro, you don't have to do none of this shit. You can be released today. We just need a statement and let us know that you will cooperate when it's time to prosecute these, because they knew they was on us.
Right.
And they knew, you know what I mean? But they wanted Dre. They wanted Dre bad, so that was right up their alley for him not to say nothing on us. They was like, oh, fuck, taking all three up there. So we went to trial, you know what I mean? We didn't take no deals or none of that shit. We went to trial. Dre went to trial with us. And we all got found guilty in trial, and that was the outcome. Like, it wasn't even...
And you still only got 10?
10 years for everything I just told you. Being pulling into a bank parking lot, noticing they was on us, and decide not to do it.
Oh, okay. So you didn't actually, you didn't actually commit a bank robbery that day?
No. I didn't even, and it was crazy because my charges was conspiracy and attempt. They gave me attempted bank robbery, and I didn't even get out of the car. They just said I took substantial enough steps to do it, which made it an attempt. So I ended up with 10 years. You know, like I say, not even getting out of a car.
That's crazy how they can just that's crazy how the law has so much leeway to make those type of assumptions. I mean, even if you was there to do it, like, goddamn, y'all still got to prove this shit. You know what I'm saying?
I can't change my mind. Like, motherfucker, I can't change my mind.
Exactly.
What you telling me? I was going to do it. But basically, I said I wasn't going to do it no more. So you telling me I can't change my mind? I'm going to kill.
I'm still going. Exactly. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And that's what us. And that's what the whole, if anybody know anything about conspiracy, when you deal with the feds, when that word come up, you can call it a rap. Because the word conspiracy doesn't even mean you got to commit a crime. All you got to do is talk about it. You feel me?
Right.
Conspiracy is right now, me and you could be on the phone, and I could say, my nigga, I need 1,000 pills. And you could say, I got you. Hit me later on. That's a conspiracy. Ain't no pills got to be shown. Ain't no money got to be shown. That's the planning to sell 1,000 pills, and you confirmed it. That's a conspiracy to sell 1,000 pills.
Right.
You conspired to buy them. So that's all it takes for a motherfucker. So that's the hardest shit to beat, dealing with the feds. You know anything about them motherfuckers, you know. They hit you with that word, and you got some shit to fight.
All right. During that 10-year bid, what's going on with the rest of the romp? While you was incarcerated, is that when all of the rompilations and all that shit started? Did you come home to that, or?
Well, no, actually, when I was incarcerated, we was the second crew to get hit in our crew. So we get hit, and a few months later, 4 more niggas get it, and my crew get hit, but they get hit in an actual bank robbery. One of Coolio, the underdog, other niggas on my crew, they got hit with an actual bank robbery. Then some more niggas, about a year later, got hit. A couple more niggas got hit. No, they was on to us, but niggas was being hard-headed. Shit, this is hard-headed. You feel like, okay, I'm gonna get away with it. And then what ended up happening is it turned into a copycat day. With the young niggas in my neighborhood, other neighborhoods from where we from, you know, it got so popular, the bank robbery thing, that motherfuckers started copycatting.
You know what? I interviewed, not to cut you off, I've interviewed a guy. He's a rap artist. They booked me to come out there to profile him. That's the weekend that I got the drop from you. His name is Taz Maney. Taz is Maney. That's his name. And him and his crew went to jail for fucking bank robberies. And I asked him about it. He was like, man, that's what was going on around us. Like, that's what niggas was doing out here, taking banks down. Yeah, it became like a culture and shit.
We inspired all the young niggas that they seen us, our movement, and how we really got away with it for a whole, you feel me? It was this rap bastard it was this red bastard that took our shit down. Like, had that not happened, we was good. We was fucking the game up. So, and that's what happened. They, you know, they looked up to it. We was kids. We was kids. You know, we was really fucking it up. So the youngsters that was around, they seen that shit. Then the shit hit the news, and then they got to seeing all the videos and all the shit. Like, they know these niggas cowboys. We was running in. We wasn't doing no notes and none of that shit. We was running in junkie counters. You know what I mean? We hitting the drawers ourselves and doing all the shit. So, and at the time when the feds and then was first came in looking at it, they was thinking it was motherfuckers that could be police officers. They had all kind of suspicions at first until they started saying, okay, these niggas.
Oh, y'all was that tactical with it.
Yeah, these are some niggas. they had to figure it out first. They didn't know it was no kids. That's the last thing they thought. It wasn't no teen. They didn't think it was no teenagers. They definitely did. And for a minute, they suspects were actually the suspects was Muslims. That's who they thought it was because they, around the time a Brinks bank truck had got hit, and these Muslims was a suspect in this Brinks bank truck where one of the cars had got killed. So they thought for a minute they was confused on who it was. They thought it was really this Muslim group for a minute.
Right.
And they figured it out with these damn kids from this little neighborhood. And they got that from tracking the cars. That's what it all came down. The cars is what gave it away. They was fucking, all these stolen cars was coming about to be right here. I was having this dude steal a car. He right from the L, big as a dot. So all these cars was coming from somewhere close to my neighborhood. And then they was ending up right around the corner from these banks and shit stolen. Because once I hit the bank with the stolen car, all I would do was drive around the corner and switch cars, jump in another car.
Yeah.
So it was there. The car was always there. So then they traced the car, and the car would come back to the neighborhoods and to the left that was close to our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, this shit is starting. That was one of the patterns.
Got
It was like, hold on, this shit is all coming from the same little area. And we was hitting banks in different little cities, but the cars were still coming back to our city.
Right.
So, you know, and they doing their homework. So that was one of the things that led them back towards us. And then they started harassing us ahead of time. Before they even started knocking us down, they started harassing us. Like you know, we acting like, you know, we was bigger than the law.
Yeah. So,
you know, they pulling up on us and doing all this shit to where Mac Dre made a song called Pump Police. He telling them, like, man, you sweat me about bank robberies. You can't even find the motherfuckers doing it. So the song was big because he was actually talking to the police, like, man, y'all got a one-track mind and you can't even find who been robbing you blind. And, you know, he talking hella shit. But to them, that was a slap in the face. Like, oh, these niggas robbing banks and rapping about it. But he wasn't rapping about it. He was just saying that you sweating me because he was, you know, he was our voice.
Okay, so you 19 and y'all knocking banks down and getting away with it. What does a 19-year-old do with that type of money? The money. What was y'all doing with that? What was y'all doing, my nigga? Let's have it. It's over with now. But straight to the car lot. Like what was y'all doing? Jewelry.
Living like rock stars.
Young nigga shit.
Doing the young nigga shit, you know, buying cars.
Living it up.
Clothes, buying jewelry, and most importantly, we was buying studio equipment. You know, our thing was, this was at a time when, what those studio CDs, you gotta understand the time, this was the early 90s, bro.
Right.
It wasn't no Pro Tools, it wasn't none of that shit. You couldn't send no music by no emails. You couldn't do none of that shit, bro. You had to make the beats and all that shit right there. And the motherfucker who was going to be on the song was going to be right there. If he wasn't right there on the song, right there to record, he wasn't going to be on the song. So our whole thing, this was the independent game, bro. This was before it wasn't no internet music, wasn't none of that shit, bro. You had to make a CD or you was making tape. It was just coming from the tape era to the CD era.
Right.
So we was already on an independent grind. We was already selling shit off the trunk. And our thing was we starting a record label right now, an independent record label. So we started buying equipment. We had already did our movement was independent. Our movement was from a house, recording inside a house, and then taking it to an independent record label. Like, hey, we just made a record. You know, it was through my peoples, but this was a system that they got developed out the Bay Area. That was out the trunk game that started an independent movement early. That's why the Bay Area always had its own movement. Like we not in the majors. We don't got all the Def Jams and shit over here fucking with us.
Right.
So we always had our own movement. So that was our thing. We finna buy studio equipment and we finna keep Dre in the studio and keep Dre rapping. So we was investing into Dre's career. Same time. And our next artist up was finna be Mac Marv. I'm sure you heard of Mac Marv.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to that. You know I know Cuddy, man. That's who put me on you and shit. Yeah. I talked to Mac Marv. Marv told me, man, he was like, man, I got like 3 convicted bank robbers in my family alone and shit like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Mac Marv was next up. He was 16 years old when we went to the pen. And Dre called home and told my other homeboy, hey, look, put Marv on, do Marv shit. Marv ended up getting the deal, and he dropped produced his first video, and he was on BET and all that shit. That was all part of our movement.
Yeah. I'm a big Mac Marv fan. I grew up on Marv music. At what point did you decide? Because based on from me watching that American Gangster episode, you seem to be like more of a frontline, hands-on street nigga. At which point did you and a leader? At which point did you interject yourself into the music and start rapping?
Yeah, it was crazy because I always fucked with the music. You know, I always rap. Even when Dre was rapping, I rap. But I just wasn't the one. I knew Dre was the rapper. You feel me? I wasn't the nigga. You know, and that's the thing I always tell these young niggas now, bro. You gotta understand who the talent is in the crew. Everybody can probably rap, but you gotta let the nigga be the nigga. Dre was the nigga in the crew.
Right.
And to the mic. I was the nigga in the crew with the streets. You know, we was friends. You know, we wasn't always in this rap shit. So I came to him for advice in the music shit. He came to me advice in the street shit. And we worked that shit out together. Like, that's how we worked. That was my nigga. So I knew he was a better rapper than me. So I wasn't tripping on that. My thing was, let's get this nigga on. We got to get Dre on top and he can bring the crew up.
Right.
That's how we thought. That's how our crew thought. So I just played my role. I played my role. When I was in the prison, when I went to jail at 19, that was all still my fashion. So I wrote lyrics in jail. I wrote line, and I would go perform at prison talent shows.
Right.
And the thing, what I noticed was, I was the nigga that could bring real niggas to the yard.
Right.
Talking about shit the niggas would come out for. Niggas would be like, Diggs, I ain't even coming to the yard unless you rap. Because I wasn't rapping about no cars and no bitches and none of that shit. I was rapping about that pen life. Would get up to that shit, the shit we was going through, and most importantly, I stayed on snitches' heads. Right. Niggas liked that shit in prison. And when I knew that I could keep nigga in jail, and about 30, 40 years would come out to see me rap, I said, well, you know what, I might got something. So when I got out of prison, Dre had been out 4.5 years. He was getting his buzz back, and his thing was, come on, Cuddy, I need you. Let's do this rap shit. Right. Like, well, you know what, since you already on, let me see what my little shit can do. And I fucked with it, and it just worked for me. And, you know, I'm not no lyricist and none of this shit. They fuck with me because I say real shit. I keep it 1,000 with my music. It's what I am. My first song was called PILLMATIC. And the words was on real street, but all I did was take my life and mix a little beat with it. But that's a big. If you listen to my music, you don't know who I am. I'm not making no fairy tales and none of that shit. Right. We just killing it.
Let me ask you something, Diggs. What did a couple months ago, you post everybody was at it with Messy Marv, but you made a post about him or a repost about him, and at the time he was all fucked up on drugs and shit like that. What did Messy Marv do to you to take you to that point, to where all the kid gloves was off? We beefing. Like, what exactly did he do?
It started off with just one day, we wake up, and Mess was in jail at the time. And he was dropping music from in jail. So we wake up one morning, and it's an album cover with a Mess single, and the cover is my logo, Mac Dre Biz Nation, which got Mac Dre face on it. Mm-hmm. And that was a single. That was a cover art for a single, but it had bullet holes on and Mac Dre's face.
You serious?
Yeah, it got bullet holes. It's on YouTube right now. It had bullet holes in Mac Dre's face. It was a song. It was actually an interview that led into a song or something. It was an interview with Sickness.net, where he was telling his interview, and then in his interview he say, in these exact words, I didn't fuck with the Mac Dre nigga. Damn. I fucked with Fat Tone. Now, I had no problem with that shit if, first of all, if that was true or if you stood on that shit. But when Mac Dre died, you made songs. That was my nigga. You doing interviews and all the shit. Even had a song with Dre on the hook, you know, all the shit. And it took you 12 years to wake up one day and say you didn't fuck with him, but you fuck with the nigga that everybody think killed him.
Yeah.
And then you put bullet holes in his face. So, you know, Dre dead. That's my nigga. Of course, I'm going to step up. So I got at that nigga like, nigga, you out of line. And when I see you, nigga, we going to have to talk about it. I'm probably going to slap the shit out of you. I think that's what the first I'm going to slap the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I felt tired of disrespect. Like, I said what Dre would have said. Period.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt. That was totally disrespectful and shit. I think,
So,
Go ahead.
But to put the icing on the cake, and then one of the reasons why I was I felt hella disrespectful is when he was going at it with everybody else in the Bay, Too Short, Filthy Rich, Mr. Fab, E40. You see, I flew out to Miami and went to go fuck with him on some, you know, we bosses. I'm like, nigga, you know, let me see if I can clear this shit up. Play you and all this shit. I pull out, go pull up on him. We go shoot pool, eat steaks, talk, chop it up and all the shit. Had a good time. I film everything. And then while I'm in jail, you know, I went down and had to go sit down for last year. While I'm gone, this nigga does an interview and he tells some wild story about me coming to Miami and him jumping out with a pistol and me asking him about a kilo of cocaine, and I didn't answer the phone the next day, so he think I might have been trying to set him up.
I seen that. I've seen that.
So basically, he done implemented that he think I was on some police shit. So he do this while I'm still. So now this is just the last straw, my nigga. Like, there's a lot of things you can do. I don't play with that shit, my nigga. When they kind of implement me, like I said, I just did 10 years in the feds, my nigga, behind the snitch. You feel me? So my outlook, my thoughts, my nigga, the way I get down, I don't fuck around. Anybody know me, know I don't fuck. I just had to get my own brother career, basically, in this game, because he was a rat. Like, I don't play. I don't care who you is. I told my son, you tell on the man you can't come to my house.
Right.
So he played with me with that shit, my nigga. That's where you crossed the line at, and that's where I told him, my nigga, your career is over with, my nigga. You never have another career in the Bay Area, and I meant that. So he did some fuck nigga shit where I was in Hawaii and he called himself trying to get some viral views and went and jumped out on the street in my neighborhood where some kids was at, from where J Diggs at, which he started a movement for me with this bullshit. Just for the camera. He got the camera with him, got a gun with him with no clip in it, all type of weird shit he did, but it went viral.
Right.
And so that was all I needed to finish that nigga off and expose who he really was. And I love the nigga music, just like a lot of people where I'm from love this dope ass rapper. But like I tell people, just because you're a good rapper don't make you a good nigga. He was a fuck nigga, and all I did was expose him for what he was. And they got the fans got to find out that, yeah, nigga, you've been following a dope fiend, you've been following a nigga that talks to himself, he half crazy, he can rap good a little bit, but at the end of the day, this nigga makes up stories, like his name is Betsy Bar. You feel me? So he lives up to it. And it's crazy because I did an interview similar to this with the radio station KPL a few months back, and I told the same story about how this nigga make up stories. And then the very next day after the interview dropped, this nigga gets online on his page. He got talking about there's another Bay Area legend named Lil D from out here. Got to talk about, man, I just witnessed Lil D get killed in Oakland and blah, blah this and blah, blah that, to whereas Lil D had to go online and like, man, I'm all right. Man, y'all don't do nothing. Like,
yeah, I seen that.
Crazy. Like, he was just say anything out of his mouth. So it was just to the one to where as Will was just trying to expose the nigga for who he was, because he had a voice. You know, when you rap niggas, you know, and you got a little bit fan base, you got a voice. So people will believe shit until they figure out, oh, no, this nigga's just that kind of nigga.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I had to basically show the world who he was. That's why I posted that. Like, this nigga's a dope fiend. This nigga smokes crack. He smokes crystal meth. He talks to himself. He do all kind of fuck nigga shit. And that's who he is. So, I just kept it 100, my nigga. You gonna try to call me the police, my nigga? Let me show you who calling who the police. You feel me? And that's what I did.
Right.
That's what I did.
Okay. Years ago, I noticed that, you know, you had a relationship with Big Meech. You and Big Meech still cool?
Still cool. I'm not my nigga. That's my nigga. I love Meech like a brother. We've always been good. Never had no beef, no none of that shit. That's my guy.
No doubt. How did your relationship with BMF? How did that develop?
You know what's crazy? Cause we started in Miami. This probably had to been 2003 or 2004, and I was down there. Me and Yuck Mouth was down there. I was down there with my camera crew was filming a shit called THRU television. And while I was down there, they had a big party at the Crowbar. They had, the BMF movement was real big at that time. So Meech was having a big ass party at the Crowbar. I was sliding through on a moped, me and my cameraman, and one of the BMF niggas hit me up. Oh, that's Diggs. Jay Diggs, that's Diggs. You know what I mean? I recognized the nigga. And I spin around on my moped. His name was Big Cuz. I jump out. What's up with it, man? We fuck with you. We fuck with the movement. We just seen Trill TV1. And woo. They start introducing me to everything.